As we look at problem solving, we're not really talking about your problem solving efforts, but the problem solving system that surrounds it. Where do problems come from? How do we manage them? How do we prioritize them? And so on. One of my favorite questions that I would always ask when I was assessing an organization was talking to folks on the front line, whatever they were in the organization, and asking, what do you do when you have a problem? The answers are hardly ever consistent and certainly aren't reflective of having a system that says, this is a problem and this is what I do next. And so if we can't answer that very first step from a problem-solving system, there's very little chance that we'll consistently apply problem solving to get the results that we want. When we start to look at the elements of a problem-solving system, it begins with simply defining what is a problem. If we have different definitions for a problem, the rest of the system won't make very much sense. So if I believe 5% behind schedule is a problem, and you believe it's not a problem until 20%, we're never going to be aligned. So what is a problem? How do I find it? How do I surface it? And to who do I surface it to? How do we prioritize it? None of us have enough time to solve all the problems that we can find, so how do I know which ones I should solve first, second, and third? It includes how do I manage them as part of a portfolio, what resources I assign to them, and what methodology should I choose? Because there's no one single methodology that fits them all. So fundamentally, if you've gone through problem-solving training, it very likely started with defining the problem statement. But if we look at it from a problem-solving system, the problem statement is far down the process line. The rest is what's required to really have a problem-solving management system. So what makes a problem-solving management system a lean problem-solving management system? It's certainly not just the tools that we throw at the system. I believe there's three traits that are fundamentally important. The first is high agreement. Do we have high agreement on our process for problem solving? We may not have high agreement across the entire company, but at least within a team, we need high agreement on how our system is intending to work. The second trait is transparency. Can we see the problems? Can we see the problem landscape? Do we know who's working on what? And do we know the status of closing out those problems? If we keep problems hidden and our system does not make it transparent, we do not have a lean problem-solving system. And the third trait is ownership. We need clear ownership of problems. Somebody has to own it. Somebody has to drive the next step. It doesn't mean they do all the work in isolation of teams, but if we're waiting for facilitators to be assigned and teams to be put together to solve problems, we're not going to get where we need to go. People closest to the problem have to be able to own their problems. And without that ownership, it's very hard to make progress. So having a lean problem-solving system is far more than having your A3s and your 5 Ys. It's truly having those three traits across our entire system of managing problems.